Instagram stories for Monday, April 7th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Today on the show, we're going to be hearing from the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, as he answers questions from his weekly Ask Me Anything. You'll be hearing answers to questions like, is it better to have two separate accounts, one for personal and one professional, or to mix them into one? He will give his opinion and I will give mine. Additionally, he will discuss a bunch of product feature suggestions, and I will talk about whether or not they are good ideas or bad ideas. All of that and more on today's episode, but first, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Welcome back. Let's dive right into the questions. The first one, is it better to have two separate accounts for personal and professional or combine into one? I think that if you are a business owner, your account should be primarily around that business. You can have some personal content in there. I would say a good rule of thumb might be 90-10. 90% professional, 10% personal. However, if you are a content creator, I think that line can absolutely be blurred. It could even be 50-50. I think 50% professional and 50% personal on a creator account is totally fine because it shows that you're a human with other interests and people might choose to follow you for varieties of different reasons. Here's Adam's answer to that question.
It depends. There is no better option. It's really a matter of personal preference. I use primarily one account and I use close friends to post to my friends. I know a lot of other people with public followings who use two accounts because they like it to be more separate. Totally a matter of personal preference.
Good call out there on the close friends feature. If you're not familiar, close friends allows you to designate who you want to have in your inner circle. You might have 2 people, you might have 100 people. Whoever you decide, you can have them see only the content that you choose to share with your close friends. If you add someone to your close friends and you post content for your close friends group, that person will see a little green ring around that piece of content. If you removed them from your close friends, they will not know. So don't worry about it. You can do close friends for reels and stories. Reels for close friends might seem a little counterintuitive since normally we use reels for growth, not only for the followers that you have to see it, but also potentially to get new followers. But those reels that you tag for close friends only would only be seen by close friends. Okay, let's go on to the next question, which is all about reach. Will not posting reels hurt my reach? Good question.
You don't have to post reels to increase reach. It helps because people tend to interact more with reels, but I know lots of creators who don't post a lot of reels. In general, though, if you stop posting for a long time, whether you're posting photos, carousels, or reels, that can hurt your reach. I don't want it to. The issue is that we have less data about who's interested in you, and so then it becomes harder to rank for you. We're trying to see if we can address that, but if you do spend, weeks and weeks or months and months away and then you come back, I've heard and seen in the data that sometimes your reach can be lower to start.
My advice to you is if you're not going to do reels, which you might have your reasons for not wanting to do them, totally fine. In that case, I would double down on carousels because that's going to give you the best chance to be shown in someone's feed multiple times to have them potentially discover you. Okay, let's move on to the next question. I don't want to block or unfollow, but I don't want to see some people I follow. This is a great case for muting people. I love the mute feature. If you're not familiar, you can mute someone's stories, so you never see their story. You can mute their feed posts, so you never see those, or you can mute all their posts. Fantastic options.
If you want to keep following someone, but you don't want to see their content and you don't want them to know that, you can actually mute them. So you can mute their posts, their stories, and even their notes. And that way you'll still be following them and you will not block them. They will not know anything about this, but you will no longer see their posts in either your feed, your stories, or your notes tray.
Do you have that friend who posts 100 stories per day and you just don't want to see them at all ever? Well, you could not tap on them. That would help. But muting them is the surest way to ensure you won't see those stories at all. Let's move on to the next question. How do I change what's in my reels and explore? Well, Instagram recently rolled out the ability for you to reset your explore page.
The more you interact with recommendations of posts from accounts you don't follow and explore and in the Reels tab, the more we're going to show you similar type of content in the future. If you're not interested, you can actually say that. You can tap the three-dot menu, or if you're on Explore, you can long press, and if it's Explore on Android, long press and then go to the dot. Then you can say you're not interested, and we will try to not show you similar content in the future. Again, this is all for accounts you do not follow. For accounts you do follow, you control it primarily by following and unfollowing. And if you really want to make sure you never miss anything, you can add them to your favorites.
Okay, you know what's weird about Adam's answer is he didn't say what I said, which is to reset your suggested content. If you go to your Instagram settings, choose Content Preferences, and then select Reset Suggested Content, it explains, do you want a fresh start? We suggest posts, reels, and other content based on factors like who you follow and your activity. You can reset to see something new, and you have the ability to completely reset your suggested posts. That's how I would handle it. Okay, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear the head of Instagram talk about some product suggestions that people have submitted, why he thinks they are good ideas that the team could potentially explore, so be sure to stick around. Welcome back. We're continuing with the questions and answers from the head of Instagram, and we are moving into the Instagram product suggestions section of the show. The first one has to do with the fast forward that you can now do on Reels. If you hold your finger down in the right place on the screen, you can watch a reel at 2x, which is much better, especially if you're watching someone talking for a long time and you want them to hurry up and get to the point. The question is, love the fast forward on Reels. Maybe a rewind if you hold the left part of the screen for twice as fast rewind. Interestingly, Adam thinks this is a good idea. I do not think it is a good idea.
That's actually a pretty good idea. I think we don't use that part of the screen for anything else, so I will talk to the team, see if we can figure something out.
Just watch the video over a second time and give the person a view. Give them a second view. You would be supporting a creator. It's only going to take you a few more seconds. If you really want to start the video over, swipe away and then swipe back to it. We don't need a rewind. That's my opinion. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Would be great when putting music on a story if the original audio could stay. This is a good point. When you post a reel, you have the ability to adjust the volume of the music versus the volume of the original audio from the reel. But if you were to do that on a story, when you add music, it wipes out whatever audio is already on the original video. This person is saying we need a similar slider to allow you to control that. And I agree.
Another good idea. Generally, we try to keep the stories editing flow really simple because stories are about just sharing fleeting things during the day as opposed to something you curate really well. But it would be pretty cool to be able to have audio and add music and still have the original audio and then be able to tune them. A bit more of a power user feature. So I don't know if we can prioritize it, but I'll look into it.
The last question has to do with Instagram's soon-to-be-released Edits app, which is going to be for video editing, similar to what we can do with CapCut and InShot today. The question is about music. Will the same music be available on Edits as Instagram? Good question.
Yes, Edits, which is coming out soon and is our dedicated video editing app with a bunch of tools for tracking your ideas and getting inspired, will have the same music tools as Instagram does.
That's what I like to hear. Don't make me jump between apps to add music. I don't have time for that. That is it for today's show. As always, thank you for listening. If you can take a moment, please leave a review of the show. You can do that directly through the link in the show notes. The best place to leave a review is on Apple Podcasts. This enables other people to find the show. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you could just write a nice few words about what you love about this show, that would really mean the world to me. As always, thank you for listening, and be sure to come back next time for more Instagram news, strategy, and other things that I'm positive you should be aware of.
Let me tell you a couple things that you should know about me. A product manager, but do not have a bachelor's degree. But actually, that's factually a fraction of me. Another fraction's posting content irregular and irrationally. Still probably won't get a job at the Gram. They forgot, they don't know, or don't care who I am. That's why you never see me at the parties and events. My lack of followers must make me irrelevant. Don't have a course, a book to sell to make a bag of grand. Not a social media marketer, don't represent any brands. Plain to see, don't have an agency, but I got a lot of spam. Just putting in my work without the glitz and glam. Won't catch me eating fish unless it's shrimp or clam. No six pack, no risk that, there's a gym card in my hand. Don't have a full-time job, but I got a lot of plans. Stay plotting, dropping knowledge on TikTok and Instagram.